Yeah, I mean, the stats are absolutely shocking. We've done crime, we've done addiction rates. You mentioned earlier on as well about it's all very well and good pumping money into treatment and resource centres and giving people clean needles. But despite increased funding for recovery programmes, these resources remain insufficient to meet the growing demand. I mean, who could have seen that coming, for goodness sake? Many addicts are struggling to access treatment due to limited bed availability, lengthy wait lists, lack of transportation. Outreach efforts faces challenges in identifying and engaging individuals on the streets. No doubt many of them don't actually, because they're in active addiction, really want to get clean. They can't really imagine a life without this kind of stuff. What would the Republican movement do about this? I mean, are they coming out strong about this? Is Trump saying anything about it? People like DeSantis or Ramaswamy, people like that?
Yeah, I think Republicans have pursued policy prescriptions. They just haven't really been adopted, or where they've been adopted, it's just been at a small level. I don't personally view this even as political. It becomes political because politicians are involved. But I mean, at the end of the day, what Republicans are calling for and what I think clearly works, we've got the data to show it, you cannot remove the criminal justice system from this at all. It has to be a part. It doesn't have to be the leading part. You don't have to throw a bunch of addicts in jail, but there has to be a carrot and stick approach that basically says, look, you're going to continue to break the law by utilizing these drugs in public. You've got two options. We'll put you in drug treatment that we'll pay for, or we're going to put you in jail. Sure, you'll be in jail maybe for a day, maybe a weekend. But the idea of detoxing in a jail over a weekend might be enough, and is enough for a lot of people to finally get them into treatment. And then number two, what's really important, we're starting to see this happen across the country, not really yet in the Pacific Northwest, but prosecutors going after the drug dealers and charging them with murder, going after them and saying, you are basically committing murder, you're abetting a murder, and you're going to go to jail for life. Yeah,
I mean, I'm actually obviously deeply concerned and very, very sorry for anybody whose life is negatively affected by that, whether that is the victims of the drug abuse themselves or the victims of the crime associated with it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't want to be misconstrued when I say that, but I am actually quite grateful that in some parts of America this is happening, because here I am in London, England now, and we now have accurate, to-the-minute case studies of what drug legalization or decriminalization would look like and the knock-on effects of that. Yeah. And we can point to that now and say, look, because there is a movement of people over here that say things like cocaine and cannabis and heroin, etc., should be decriminalized. We can point to that now. And I think you guys are issuing quite a good cautionary tale for us here in the UK, aren't you?
Well, if you're willing to listen. But I would argue that Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada was a perfect place to look at and say, this clearly is not going to work. And yet American progressive lawmakers went to Vancouver. They witnessed what I witnessed when I was down there. And they came back saying, oh, yeah, we need to do heroin injection sites. They were impressed by what's been going on there. And that's been a total disaster.
Yeah, I was very, very young. I went to Vancouver. I was with my family. I could not believe what we were driving into. We'd just done Vancouver Island. Nice, beautiful, great. And then we went into Vancouver, main city. And oh my gosh, I thought we were in some kind of hellscape there. And that is heralded as a victory for a liberal drug policy. I've never seen anything like it. I hope we don't see the likes of it over here. But Jason, can I just say thank you very, very much.